Finding Calm in the Chaos. I am Denise Sith, and this is my podcast. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I'm cracking up again with this voice. And welcome to another episode of Finding Calm in the Chaos, friends. I'm Denise. Oh my gosh, what are we talking about today? We're talking about green flags in people. Okay, we always talk about red flags in people. Think about that. But I'm just saying, green flags, they're easier. I feel like there's too many red flags. There's a lot of red flags lately in this world. But green flags in people are things I think we really should be looking at. I also think that when you're looking for red flags, you're going to find red flags. So if you're trying to remain in a positive state of mind or surround yourself in energy that is going to be in a better, you want the better frequency, you want, bigger blessings, that you need to see green flags versus red flags. Because if you're looking for red flags, I feel like you're going to find them. And then pretty much your whole world turns into like a Charlie Brown Eeyore. And then, what do you got? Right? So, let's talk about some of these. I think you should write these down. Go get a pen or paper or whatever, but you need to write these down. I'm going to bullet point them all. There's 9 of them. So number 1 is green flagged people. They celebrate your wins. Now, everyone's going to be like, yeah, girl. Oh my God. That's what you're saying right now. But not everybody's going to after I finish elaborating on this. I love when my friends celebrate my wins. I love when I tell them that something happened for our family and they get excited. I love that. Okay. Mr. Sith recently got another increase at work and a bonus. And I think that's wonderful, right? I was able to share that with a friend and she was genuinely excited for us. And I like that. Okay. She's recently celebrated tons of financial and employment increases and changes in her life right now. And I have been celebrating with her. So I felt that I could safely share them, which we're going to talk about later. I could safely share them with her and that she would celebrate us as well. And she did. So thanks, Trish. We love you. But yes, they celebrate your wins. Now, these are life wins. And I know I just went with a income example, but this includes everything in life. Your friends just booked that vacation they've been waiting to book forever. You are a, Europe kind of person, but they are going to Kansas and they are super excited. Let's redo that. They're going to Branson, Missouri. And you're just like, what? It doesn't matter. A green flag person is going to celebrate that. They have been waiting to go to Branson. By God, they are going to Branson. You celebrate with them, damn it. You celebrate them. That's what green flag friends do. Okay? What green flag friends does not mean, I feel like I have to do these because I'm going to be honest with you. I got a lot of listeners who apparently are MLM. The plot thickens. And a lot of them said they weren't going to listen anymore if I kept talking about MLMs in a negative light. And I'm like, I wish I could, but MLMs are a negative light amongst themselves. Okay. So there's that. Green flags in your friends does not mean that you are in an echo chamber of people who are trying to make money off of you. And if they all celebrate your wins, it's because you're making money for them. Now, I kind of skipped over some of this, but for those of you in the back who don't understand, A lot of people in MLM think that you are not their friend if you don't support their business. Here we go. MLMs, the only business in MLM, I'm going to try to make this I'm going to try to say this for the people in the back who aren't getting it. I have friends I absolutely love who are still stuck in this industry. I was able to get out 2.5 years ago, and I'm not looking back, but it was a frame of mind. They preyed on the frame of mind that I had. I fell into it. And now that I know there's a huge anti-MLM network that is around. If you're unaware, just type anti-MLM in YouTube and you will get enlightened. But one of the most more responsive, and she has a great way of communicating why MLM is horrible. She's also out of the MLM network. I don't get anything from her. She probably doesn't even know I'm doing this. I don't even know that she follows me. But on YouTube, there is a anti-MLMer called Erin Bies, Erin Bies, B-I-E-S, Erin Bies, and she eloquently will explain. She's a very caring person, but she also, she says she has healed herself out of the MLM network. And that, my friends, is truer than life. So green flags do not mean that people you know do not want to celebrate your sham industry. And it's not yours. You've been basically recruited. There is a point where you understand the sham and you become a part of it. Then shame on you at that point. But you can heal yourself out of that too. But you do have to understand that just because someone doesn't want to support an industry that prides itself out of bad business habits and not paying the average person, because nobody makes money in that. Like 98% of people do not, according to the FTC. There's that. Is that FTC or FTC? Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, I got the worst brain ever with autoimmune. That said, that does not mean that's an echo chamber. When people who are making money off of you tell you that if somebody's not supporting your business, they're not a friend of yours, that is a problem. So that's actually a red flag. So run the other way to your friend that's waving the green flag, trying to save you from a lot of heartache and a lot of money. So they will celebrate your actual life wins. Keep your businesses out of this. That comes later. More stuff on that. So green flags in people. 1, they celebrate your wins in life. 2, they remember small things about you. Now, I will say that I struggle with this because I will tell you, friends, that with a mind consumed with multiple autoimmune diseases, I sometimes don't even know why I'm in a fucking room. Let's be honest. Sorry, I don't have sponsors, so I could swear. It is crazy, but I try to remember little things about people. So I know, you know who's really good at this? My friend Christy and Leslie are really good at this. Like they can find little things about people and they will remember them forever. So is Rita. Rita always sends me coffee mugs and I'm like, God, I have to get rid of all these coffee mugs so I can replace them with all the nice new ones that she gave me that are funny and cute, and I love them all. Christy also is a coffee mug person. She sends me stuff too. I have to stop doing that. I'm trying to declutter. Anyway, carry on, Denise. Number 2, remember small things about you. They do that. I have actually been trying to be a better listener over the last year. Have I been super successful? Kinda. I mean, I was better than I was before, and I'm trying to celebrate all of my wins. So the fact that I can remember some stuff about other people's little idiosyncrasies and like little details that they, you know, things you like or food or drinks, that kind of stuff. That's a huge thing for me. just because I have a horrible memory as it is, like I'll never remember names. I could never remember names. I did all of the things where you shake their hand, look them in the eye, repeat their name, repeat it 4 times. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to remember your name. I found that what is actually polite, instead of doing that, and then they know you're doing that because everybody knows you do that to remember a name, that it's actually more kind to actually be like, you know what? It's a pleasure meeting you, Sarah, but I'm probably going to ask you what your name is, like twice more today. But that's good because it means I enjoyed talking to you. Awesome. That's what I go with now. There's that. So remember small things about people. Let them remember small things about you. What you like. People know I like the color. Somebody sent me a coloring book. I'm like, wait, what? Coloring book. You guys rock. Stuff like that. So that's what you want to do. So 1, they celebrate your wins. 2, they remember small things about you. 3, they respect your boundaries. Yeah, they do. So sometimes you're not, because such is life, you're not always going to agree with what people say. That's kind of boring, isn't it? I gotta drink some water here. And it's okay to not agree with what everybody says. Okay. We're not all the same people. Thank God. Okay. We're all unique individuals, but some people have boundaries. If someone knows that they don't do that, or that, for me, I don't drink anymore. Do I want everybody to be like, hey, Denise, let's go to all these events where there's drinking? I just say no. But most of my friends know that I don't drink now. So they'll either not invite me to those things, or they'll ask me. They'll be like, we're all going to this wine and paint. I know you don't drink, but would you like to paint with us? But we understand if you're just not interested in being around the wine. And I'm like, no, I'm just not interested in being around all of you guys drunk on wine. So I'll pass this time. Things move a different way when you're the sober person as well. But yeah, no, stuff like that, just, 3, they respect your boundaries. Okay. That's awesome. That is a green flag. That is a person who is conscious of their actions. And I want to be that person. This is me. I want to be a green flag person, man. Okay. This is like these are goals. Okay. 4, you feel energized after seeing them. Okay. This is a big one, my friends. If you are dreading seeing somebody, okay, we all have these people, okay? If you dread seeing people, find new people, okay? Because when I go out with my friends, and, it's funny because I just actually, beginning of this podcast, okay, we just had the 2-year anniversary last week, but my first year, I often talked about how I was working on finding relationships, deeper relationships with women, because I really didn't have a lot of friends because I was so untrusting and just on guard all the time. And then once I realized that I could let my guard down a little bit, not all women were like horrible, because I did not have good relationships with women in the past. I always had friends that were like cutthroaty, but then the friends I maintained were very like deep and meaningful. And then the more I grew in my spirituality and just becoming closer in my faith with God, then I found it really easier to find deeper relationships with women as friends. And so I feel like now when I go out with them or we have a day to do stuff, I'm like super psyched the night before, like the day of, after. I'm just like, I had the best day, girl. I feel great. That's how you should feel. You should feel energized after seeing them. Number 5, they listen without being defensive. Ooh, friends, I can't even tell you how I used to fall into this category as a red ass flag, okay? because I needed to heal myself from all my childhood trauma before I could have like rationally be proud of people, and an adult, be an adult and be genuinely happy for people when I was so tore up inside. I didn't know how to. And the whole idea of people speaking and talking without me putting it on me because of the way I was raised and always having to be on the defense, that is hard. But now that I don't take that offensively, because I understand that it was a auto reflex, it was a defense mechanism in me that I carried into adulthood as a child. I was always on the defense, right? That's what happens when you're the adult child of an alcoholic, right? You're always on the defense because as a child, you always needed to be ready and waiting for when it was going to go down. And that gets carried into adulthood. And you're like, this is really not an opportunity for me to be. Why am I acting like this? Like, it just doesn't even fit the situation. So I understand if that is hard for you, or if any of these are hard for you. They were super hard for me too. And I recently just found, and the word to use is freedom. I've just recently found a freedom from this, that they will listen without being defensive. And oh my gosh, it has changed my life to be able to talk to people about stuff and not automatically feel it had something to do with me, and understand now the defense mechanism that I put in place as a child that really has no business being in my adult life. Wow, what a difference is all I can say. So let me recap where we're at. Green flags in people. 1, they celebrate your wins. 2, they remember small things about you. 3, they respect your boundaries. 4, you feel energized after seeing them. And 5, they listen without being defensive. All right. 6, they allow you to be fully yourself. It is such a hard world we live in today that we can't feel the need to be who we are. You could take that with whatever way you want, but I think it goes across the board that if we all just find people who are comfortable being who we are around each other without having to jam acceptance of who you want to be onto other people, that's the only step. If people just took that step in America today, we would be leap years ahead in relations with each other. I just feel that when I am with my friends, I want to be who I am. Like, I recently had someone, not recently, but I would say like within the last 6 months, someone had mentioned that I don't allow me to talk. It was like an argument, not an argument, but like a debate I had with someone about whatever. And they were getting super defensive. And it's weird because at the time I was going through all these changes for these green flags, from red flags, my red flags, to green flags. And so I saw all these, I was able to identify the red flags in this other person. And I didn't want to hold that against them, but I also didn't want to go in and argue and fall into it. Like, I didn't want to take the bait. So I just let it sit. And that all worked out for me. I didn't have to hear all of the rage baiting messages. I never listened to them. And at the same time, I didn't have to get the last word in. I'm sure she probably felt I did because I didn't engage in the messaging anymore. But there was no need to engage in the messaging anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, she wasn't going to see what I said, and maybe she will. I don't know. Maybe it'd be an indicator for her for green flags and red flags as well. But it just is easier to allow yourself to be fully yourself without people judging. And so she had stated that and I'm thinking, wow, we've been talking for how long and you never mentioned this. And that usually means something else is going on their end. But I have had somebody say in the past, shocker, that it's hard to get an edge in elsewise in a conversation with me. And I've been working to be a better listener, but I do run a podcast, but I'm also not in charge of guessing what's going on in people's lives. You want to be able to be fully yourself. And what happened is, when I look at this hindsight 2020, that person is unable to be fully themselves. She was in a position at the time where she wasn't disclosing what was really going on in their relationship. But yet when you asked about it, she deflected back to you to talk. But then somehow that became, I guess I wasn't insistent enough on what was going on in her life. And so I'm not a guesser. I'm not a magician. I don't read minds. I asked, you deflected. I answered your question. I asked, you deflected. I answered your question. But now I don't ever ask you about you. Okay, like I understand where she's coming from, but it's hard when you're both going down like a road, but in actuality, when you're looking at a map, they're two separate roads. So I opted to just step out. But I'll always be here. Like, we'll still online friends and stuff like that. I just don't pursue the relationship because it's not a green flag. Okay. And obviously I'm not a green flag for her as well. And that's okay. But that's what we need to do. We need to be able to accept people, to allow you to be fully yourself. Those are friends. Those are green flag friends. And those are the ones you want. Number 7, they make you feel safe. You should be able to say whatever you want to a friend and not feel like they're going to use it against you in the future. I know that sounds horrendous. And I hope that sounds horrendous to you. I hope that you have not lived a life like I have, where it is common practice, or was common practice, for people to ask you to be vulnerable with them, or you become vulnerable with them and you share things with them for them to attack you at a later date as leverage. That's no bueno. Okay. That is no K. You need to find green flag friends and they make you feel safe. You can trust them with things, with ways that you're feeling, and that's never going to come back at you. On the contrary, they're going to be understanding. They're going to want you to feel better, and they're going to try to make you feel better. Okay? So that's what you want. Number 8, you don't have to watch what you say. This is me. I'm telling you, it is so hard to find friends. So I'm going to use an example so when we were at one of our homeschool co-ops, there was this group of moms that went from one co-op to another. We had like a foot in both, and that's fine. Okay. But, one, I was too much for her. I'm not going to like take it down 6 notches. I understand that it's a Christian co-op. And I actually try not to say the F word when I'm out. Like, I can turn it on and off when I want. But for me, I just feel it is the way I express myself. And if you don't like that, you don't have to listen. And I don't do it as often as I did maliciously. Now I just use it because I like the word. I'm going to be honest with you. Love it. But I do feel that this woman I knew immediately had Judgy McJudger pants on. And she was one of those people where they wear their mind on their face, but she doesn't know it because she had no green flag friends to say, hey girl, like how you say that girl is this? Yeah. Well, that's how you're looking at her. You might want to stop that because now she's looking at you and she knows, just so you know. Green flags, be the green flag. It's true though. I tell friends all the time. My friend Trish does this. So is Christy. I'm letting you guys know. And Leslie does it too. And Esther, I don't know if you do, but I bet you do. Where they will talk about people or they'll be around and they're looking at them, but their face says all of the negative things that we feel about them. And I'm like, they could see your face, right? Like, it's like, it just makes me laugh. I love you guys. Cause I do this sometimes too, but like if someone comes up to me and it's just like, do you have a problem? I'd be like, no, but if you need one solved, I can entertain that. Could take the girl out of Chicago, but you can't take the Chicago out of the girl. Gosh. So yeah, it's just, you want to make sure that you don't have to watch what you say or you do. And my friends would never take that offensively. I asked literally the other day, like, hey, do you feel like I talk too much? Remember, I'm gonna use that example. Do you think I talk too much? And my friend Leslie was just like, no, I don't think you talk too much. And then she totally like went on and told me like a whole story. And then I'm like, oh, I want to answer something, but I had to break in. It's like double Dutch when we talk, because she's probably double Dutching, waiting for me to break so she can get in with her story. And then I'm double Dutching, waiting for her to finish. And I'm like, see, we just fight out the time. There's not an issue. There is not an issue. We got it. Leslie and I know how to take over our own conversations. We're good to go. Christy, same way. Half the time when Christy and I are talking on the phone, we got our earbuds in and we just don't need to do anything but breathe or listen to each other's dogs bark while we're doing shit and being productive. It's just having her on the line. She's my production buddy. Okay. And then there's just like, just chit chat about fun stuff and family and getting girly stuff done. That's my Trish. So it's like, hey, we're actually just planning going to the salt mines at the end of this month. If you don't know what a salt mine or a salt cave is, depends on where you're going. We're going to a salt cave. I want to correct myself because it's a smaller room, but they have the big ones and some of them call them salt mines. But there's salt rooms, salt caves, and it's all like pink Himalayan imported salts and stuff. And it's great for like respiratory and mood and all sorts of stuff. We literally just want to go in there for an hour on a zero gravity chair. They got like a water thing in this room apparently. And we just want to like veg and then probably go have lunch and candy cloud. Love the candy cloud. But that's the kind of thing you want. That's what you want. Okay. And so let me go through them again. Green flags in people. 1, they celebrate your wins. 2, they remember the small things about you. 3, they respect your boundaries. 4, you feel energized after seeing them. 5, they listen without being defensive. 6, they allow you to be fully yourself. 7, they make you feel safe. Okay? 8, they don't have to watch what you say. You don't have to watch what you say. And 9, they support your goals. And I'm going into it again. You know I am. Okay? Because I have 2 different friends with this issue. And they're online friends. We don't really hang out, but I see, and if it's going on and I feel this way, other people feel this way. Okay. Don't ever feel like you're the only person. Okay. This podcast says like a plethora of how everybody feels is usually like a collective. It's just only one person is rambling on about it. That would be me. I'm raising my hand. So they support your goals. I support all my friends' goals. It might not be something that personally is something that I need in my life, which is cool because it doesn't have to be, because it's not my goal. It's your goal. Like, it is my goal to write all these children's books and illustrate them. Your goal, if you don't have kids, is to buy my books. That's not your goal. Your goal is to support me, right? You're going to be like, hey, girl, I am so proud of you. Look at all the work you're getting done on that. That looks great. You proofread it for me. You're like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. I don't like the way that frog looks. It looks like a blob. You know, that kind of stuff. Oh my God, I thought so too. Thanks for telling me. That kind of stuff, right? Because you want to, don't have to watch what you say if you're a green flag friend. What that doesn't mean is that you started a company with a product. And so I will support you and buy a few because they're cute, But then if I stop buying from you or any of your other people who started to support you, or maybe it's people who just don't use that product that you have chosen to market, that doesn't mean they don't support you and they're assholes. And then you go on social media and all of your reels entail how unsupportive all your friends and family are because they don't support you. That's bullshit. It totally is. Because I'm not going to have a bunch of something in my house to support you. And mind you, I already do have a bunch of something in my house because I supported someone. And she still went online and trashed everybody. And I'm just like, wow. That's kind of bogus. Maybe that's why your business is hurting because you can't shut up about it. If you spend as much time making reels about how people are not supporting your business, marketing to people who want your business, you wouldn't be in the same predicament, the actual predicament that you're in. Duh. I'm just saying. But also, there's they support your goals. If you are in an MLM, most people are not going to support your goals if they understand MLM. That doesn't mean they hate you. That doesn't mean they don't like you. That doesn't mean you have to block and unfriend them and do all this stuff because your upline told them that they're not a friend of you if they didn't support you. Because the only person making money in MLMs is usually that upline who needs you all to keep selling to your friends because that's how she makes her money or him. MLM is an equal opportunity scam industry. So there's that. So they support your goals. They support you as an individual. That doesn't mean that they need to purchase, attend, do all that. They might be busy. They might have kids. You know what I'm saying? Just stop. So they support your goals. I encourage all my friends to do all of the things that they do. But you can't expect me to actually purchase, attend, or do all of it, or I would not have time or finances to do my goals. You know what I'm saying? There's that. So that's all of the green flags and people. That's what we want out of friends. I am so thankful that I am finding that I am surrounded by green flag people. And when you do that, you know what's easier to distinguish? Red flag people. I'm telling you, it has been so easy to find red flag people, like that mom at the co-op. I wasn't her cup of tea. That's cool. She wasn't my cup of tea, but I didn't wear it on my face because I was like, why is she just staring at me? Like, stop it already. But it is what it is. It's like, okay, honey, you need to know what's on your face. You need to know. Wipe that off. Know what I'm saying? But it is easier once you have green flag people around you. The red flags are easy to find. All right, my friends, until next week, don't forget that this Saturday we are on vacation. So no coffee talk unless there's like a surprise live or something with our Scotland friends or whatnot. But there'll be plenty of pictures and stuff of Canada and Niagara and all that. So there's that. So until next week, lead with kindness, my friends. Bye.